At Polaris, we've spent the last 30 years breaking new ground in the snow. We've led the snowmobile industry with engineering firsts and with sleds that fly at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. But they're not only fast, they last. In severe conditions like the frozen north, a certain toughness gets bred into them. Consequently, no one beats us in our field. We'd like to serve notice now. Our field is no longer just covered with snow. True to form, we aren't jumping into ATVs. We're jumping past them. We're bringing fresh technology along with us. After all, if we didn't think we could beat them, we wouldn't join them. Now, here's how we're going to beat them. Introducing the Polaris 4-wheel Trail Boss 250 and the 3-wheeled Scrambler 250. Both have a unique engine, revolutionary transmission, and superior suspension. With the Trail Boss 250, we have a McPherson strut-type suspension, so we're upping the ante. We're bringing high-performance power, handling, and control to all-purpose ATVs. Not only does it outwork other ATVs, it outplays the other ATVs. Here's why. Our McPherson strut-type front suspension provides 6.3 inches of travel, and that means excellent stability and precise handling in any terrain. It takes the bumps and doesn't hand them back. And our turning radius is a tight 142 inches. The Trail Boss and Scrambler are the only non-racing ATVs to offer a 2-cycle engine. Our reasoning is simple. A 2-cycle engine is more powerful than a 4-cycle engine of the same size. Our engine is 250 cc's, designed by Polaris and Fuji specifically for tough all-purpose ATV use. It's oil-injected so you can forget about premix. It's a tuned exhaust, high-torque, low RPM design with fan-assisted air cooling so you can forget about overheating. Another specific ATV design feature is the carburetor air intake. Air is brought in up high around the headlight, and that raises your waterline. When it comes to a more direct and more efficient high-performance transmission, we have over 30 years under our belt. Introducing PVT, Polaris Variable Transmission. PVT is an automatically load-sensing transmission. In other words, it constantly matches the engine speed to the need. That keeps the engine running in the peak of its power range. Now, to further explain how PVT works, we have to get technical for a minute. The Polaris variable transmission contains 2 pulleys. They're connected by a belt. The belt is V-shaped and composed of a space-age material called Kevlar with tougher-than-steel aramid fibers running through it. The pulleys are actually 2 halves. The speed at which the pulleys spin causes the pulleys to expand and contract. Accordingly, the belt rides up and down within the 2 halves of the pulley. This, in effect, changes the diameter of the pulley, and the relationship between the 2 pulleys creates the gear ratio. Now that we've said all that, you can forget it, because PVT does it all automatically and continually. So unlike an ordinary transmission, there are no gears. With PVT, you turn on the power and experience a steady, smooth transition from slow speed to high speed. There are no power pauses, because there is no shifting. And that gives Polaris ATVs their superior acceleration and pulling power. For hill climbing, it's also easier to feather the power to compensate for the angle of the grade. Another advantage of Polaris variable transmission is that there is less chance of getting stuck. When you begin to lose traction, there's no need to quickly find the right gear, because the PVT has done it automatically. In fact, the only shifting you ever need to do is from forward to neutral to reverse, and it's just that quick. For final drive, we selected a sealed O-ring chain, simply because it is better than a shaft. It's lighter weight, has fewer parts, and is the most efficient way to move power from the engine down to Mother Earth. Hook it all up, and you have the most efficient, powerful way to move an ATV. In fact, we think we've got the power to pull an entire industry behind us. Oh yes, our hitch is standard equipment. So are our front and rear racks. And our unique footrests are safer and more comfortable than foot pegs. The Polaris Scrambler 250 and Trail Boss 250 are truly the first all-purpose ATVs. They work harder, they play harder. They offer the best of both worlds. And best of all, they're right at your Polaris dealer. Polaris. Nothing beats the way we're built.